Today on the channel, Jakks Class Superstars, the 3-pack, Series 8 Walmart exclusive. We've got the Animals pack, we've got the Mr. Perfect Bobby Heenan Team Flair pack, and we got Lemmy and Domino. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we continue our weekly breakdown of the Jakks Classic Superstars series. And the time has come. We're at Jakks Classic Superstars Series 8, the 3-packs, Walmart exclusive. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn the old notification bell on as you don't want to miss any of these videos. We've done a lot of videos already. There's still time to go and get caught up as we are working our way through the 3-packs, but we still got a long ways to go. We got the Deluxe Aggression Classic Superstars, we've got the exclusives and the singles, tag teams, 3-packs, a lot of exclusives. We got box sets and things like that, and a lot of other discussion topics as well around Jakks Classic Superstars. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every Tuesday, a new Jakks Classic Superstars video, and we'll keep rolling them out. But today, like I said, we're talking about Series 8 Walmart exclusives. I remember this set being very easy to find. We've talked other sets being really easy, some really hard. This is one that hung around, and I think part of it was maybe it wasn't what the customer was looking for out there as part of these. I think that could be the case right there. And we'll talk about each pack like we always do, but we're going to start with this 3-pack first. This one was always known as online the Animals 3-pack. British Bulldog with his dog Matilda, and then you got Jake and his snake, and then you got Coco Beware, of course, with Frankie. I can't forget Frankie's name. I don't think Jake, I can't remember what this snake's name. Maybe it'll be on the back. I can't remember which one this represents. Maybe it's Damien. I don't think it is. I think this is the Cobra one, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not a Cobra, so I guess we'll call it Damien. We'll just pretend. But I don't know if people were looking for this. As by this point, Jakks had released quite a few Jake the Snake Roberts. The single run, the tag team run, of course. Davey Boy Smith, same thing. And then Coco Beware did have a single carded figure as well. So I don't know if people were really dying for this set, but I thought it was a neat idea for a 3-pack. 3 of the most iconic animals, I would say, in the WWF back in the day. Putting them all in a pack, and it's the Animals 3-pack. Really, that's the only reason this 3-pack exists. A lot different than the Ric Flair 3-pack we're going to talk about next. But we're going to do it like we normally do it. We're going to take a look at the packaging, talk about it, and see where it goes from there. So there it is. Typical Classic Superstars packaging. We know it. We love it by now. The gold foil with the star at the top. The star was always dangerous, especially at Walmart's. It seems like they got more banged up at Walmart's than anywhere else. But like I said, this one did hang around for a while, so I'm sure there's quite a few of these bouncing around that were not so minty mint. And I did pick up a loose set of those when I was out on my travels back in the day, because I found one on clearance that was beat up, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to have them loose, so that's what I did. But you got Coco Beware there with Frankie, and he's got his headband as well and his glasses on. You got Davey Boy Smith with Matilda. Matilda looks a little strange. I think I remember seeing somewhere that was part of another toy line and they just stuck it in here. Getting the most use out of their molds, that's for sure. Because Matilda's a little bit smaller than she needs to be. I guess it's not, is it Winston? Yeah, it's Winston, not Matilda. And then you got Jake and his snake, and I always thought this snake was just absolute hot garbage. I never liked this snake. Felt very cheap. Jake's got the more heavyweight torso, the little heavier Jake torso. Maybe he's got a roll of quarters in his hand. He's ready to hit the Ultimate Warrior at a moment's notice if you saw the dark side of the ring, but I doubt that story. Come on, Jake. You weren't in any position to fight the Warrior at 2014, and then your timeline was all wrong anyways, but a little worked up about that a little bit, but there it is. Nothing on the side there. And there they are, the old glamour shots. I got all 3 of them. You know, I heard it was pretty tough to wrangle these guys together for that photo shoot, but they did it. Or maybe it's just the toys photo shoot, yeah. There's the back. You got Coco, you got Bulldog in the middle, and you got Jake. And then we got Mr. Perfect, Bobby Heenan, Ric Flair down below. We're going to talk about those guys next. And we got the pictures of them as well. So that's the back. Let's read what it says about the back. And I also want to compare. So on the back, they don't have their animals. Jake's got different hands. Coco does not have his glasses. Bulldog is the same. Pretty much. I think he's got one different hand. So pretty, you kind of know what you're getting here, but yeah, it doesn't show all the accessories with this one. Jake the Snake Roberts debuted 1975. 6'5", 252 pounds. Finishing move, the DDT. I don't even need to read this. It would have been funny if I looked over and it would have said like short arm clothesline. I would have said, wait a minute, well, they got this wrong. But no, it's DDT. DDT, yeah. Snake names, Damien and Lucifer. So which one did we get here? I think this is Damien. It wasn't Lucifer a cobra? I can't keep it straight. What about Revelations? He was like a big boa constrictor or something, like a albino one or something. Coco Beware, 1978 debut, 245 pounds, 5'9", finishing move, the Ghostbuster. Oh, I remember that, and the flying drop kick. Coco was pretty underrated. Yet, looking back on things, he was basically a glorified jobber for the most part, but I was into Coco. I was into his thing out there in the ring, and I loved the Ghostbuster. I loved his drop kick. I loved Frankie. I thought that was always kind of cool. He never really went too far, I guess you would say. I'll never forget WrestleMania 6, probably the zenith of my wrestling fandom. I remember baseball practice, just sprinting home as fast as I could because WrestleMania was starting. I believe it was like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I can't even remember. But I remember it was early, and I was sprinting home for that WrestleMania, and I remember walking in and turning the TV on because we had the cable box, we got all that stuff, and Coco was on his way to the ring, so that's when I got to start WrestleMania 6. Exciting times. You know the VCR was recording. You always recorded your pay-per-views. You had to. I think one time we forgot to hit record, and it was just a travesty. And I remember there was a Royal Rumble one time that my sister, I think she recorded Full House over the Royal Rumble. And that was just a travesty because you guys remember videos were expensive back then. And to have it kind of for free because you bought it and you could record it and watch it over and over and over, it's just a travesty that you'd have Full House, which was on, well, I guess it wasn't on reruns back then, but it was on Friday nights, TGIF. You knew what to do if you wanted to watch some Full House. You couldn't just pull up the Royal Rumble at any time. So that was a traumatic experience. British Bulldog, 1978, 270 pounds, 6'3", finishing move, the Power Slam. Titles, Intercontinental Champion, WWE First Ever European Champion, and World Tag Team Champion. So quite the set here, an interesting one. I see why they did it, but it kind of left a lot of people scratching their heads out there. But you guys tell me what you think about this Animals 3-pack. Is this a pass? Do you like it? Do you think it's genius? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And then you can tell me in the comments, I'm sure we all have a story, about the time your sister recorded over one of your VHS tapes. I'm sure it happened to not just me out there, and you were just heartbroken. You dropped to your knees and say, no, I'll never be able to watch that again. Oh, it's happened. I know it's happened to all of us. Tell us your greatest story in the comments. But first, we got to get to the Ric Flair 3-pack. He's up next. All right, next up, we've got the Mr. Perfect Bobby Heenan Ric Flair 3-pack. One that sounds amazing on paper, unfortunately just not as properly executed as maybe we'd all hope. We're going to take a look at the packaging, all that, but a little talk about this one a little bit. You got two seated? You got two suited figures here and Ric Flair. And that's okay because Mr. Perfect was more of a manager type. I mean, he was 100% manager type. I remember always hoping he'd come and they'd, tag and stuff. But he was an announcer/manager. Bobby Heenan, announcer/manager for Ric Flair. It was like Team Flair right here. But you got the usual drawbacks a little bit with this set here. Bobby Heenan, giantism, just a huge figure. All three of these guys have a bend in their knee. Ric Flair going to be the shortest figure of the bunch. Mr. Perfect in the traditional suited figure look, but I always hated this like Starry Night tie on him. I always thought it was just absolutely terrible. But it is what it is. But it is a moment in time of Team Flair. I wish Flair would have came with a robe. We can always say that. Sometimes they're cheaping out on accessories, and they definitely had a lot of accessories with the animals in the last pack. This pack, I believe, nothing. Oh, no, I take that back. We got the world title. We got the announcer's headgear. So we got at least something. But I would give those both back. Maybe the belt, but like to have a Flair robe with here. Flair's just not the same without a robe as a toy. I mean, that's just me. I always want a toy. There's so many options for robes for Ric Flair over the years. But it is what it is. But the Bobby Heenan takes this one away a little bit. It always seemed weird to me. I always felt like Ric Flair should have been in the middle of this pack too and have both of his managers kind of on the sides of him. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But here's a look at the packaging. We know that Classic Superstars packaging by now, of course. Flair in the red, and then Bobby Heenan matching in the red shirt. I always kind of thought of this one as J.J. Dillon, too. I think we talked about it before. Bobby Heenan would make a very easy J.J. Dillon custom if you were into that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not too far off. I could see people doing that with the little smoke and mirrors as well. Mr. Perfect in here as well. You know, Mr. Perfect, if he would have stayed on the Horseman, that was probably one of the last disappointments in wrestling I had that really, really got my blood boiling, was when Mr. Perfect turned and didn't join the Horseman. It was just so meant to be. I think it just would have took Horseman to the next level. Instead, they kind of floundered from then on out. I wish they would have kept Perfect as a Horseman, Curt Hennig as a Horseman. A little known fact, I was just across the street this week from Mr. Perfect's gravesite up there in Minnesota. So I should have stopped by and took some pictures and paid my respects, but I was awfully busy. And I don't know if he'd want me paying his respects anyways, but I was right there. I did see it. So there it is. That's the front of the package. Glamour shot on the side. There it is, Team Flair. Nothing on the other side. You remember the earlier sets, we had something on the side. It would at least say something. I do miss that a little bit. You got the back, of course. There's Flair, Henan, Perfect. You got both sets down there below. Pretty much spot on the figures on the prototypes. They pretty much are what they are in this set, for sure. So let's read the back. Let's see what it says about these guys. Let's see what's doing here. Nature Boy Ric Flair, 1972 debuted, 243 pounds, 6'1", finishing move, the figure 4 leg lock, WWE Champion, NWA WCW Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, NWA World Tag Team Champion. Favorite quote? Woo! There it is, there's my woo. Mr. Perfect debuted 1979, 260 pounds, 6'3", finishing move, the Perfect Plex. Titles, AWA Champion, Intercontinental Champion. Favorite quote? Absolutely perfect, and one of my all-time favorites. I love Mr. Perfect. His Intercontinental title run, it was just great. It's crazy that he lost to Brutus Beefcake as his first WWE, WWF loss. I remember people just being an uproar in these days, but as a little kid watching that, it didn't seem that big a deal. Brutus, I took seriously as a kid. Not everybody did, but me and my friends did. He was a big deal. I liked Brutus Beefcake as a kid, but I know some people in hindsight absolutely hate him. I think back to the glory times when I was a kid on Brutus Beefcake. Bobby Heenan debuted 1965, 190 pounds. Seems a little light for old Bobby. I don't know. 6 feet tall. WWE manager, WWE announcer, WWE Hall of Fame inductee is what it says about old Bobby Heenan. Very cool. You know, the Flair on the back in the prototype looks a lot better than what we got head sculpt-wise. I don't know. The white hair looks better than kind of the Bobby Heenan yellow hair. And I'm sure at the factory they kind of got these mixed up. So we'll just do them both in the same. Flair looked a lot better in the white. We did see this head sculpt, I believe. It was the best of WCW Jakks series with a white head sculpt or white hair sculpt. I think that looked better with the coloring. But still okay set, okay. Definitely nowhere near the top of my favorite 3-pack sets. I think I prefer the Animals one. Especially when I was a little kid, I would have loved an Animals set like that. Something about, G.I. Joe figures. I always go back to G.I. Joe, one of my favorites of all time. There's new Joe line out and you go to the store and you see them. 9 times out of 10, the first one, you'd say, okay, there's 15 figures, and your parents aren't going to buy you all 15. Or, okay, Kyle, you can get 2, or you can get 1. You get that checklist going. You're trying to figure, okay, here's my list of order. If they don't have Storm Shadow, I'm going to jump to this one or whatever. I tell you what, the ones with the Animals always went to the top of my list. They always did. Cool accessories like Animals, I just loved it in the G.I. Joe line. And I would be no different in wrestling figures if it was back then, the LJN days. I never had the LJN Coco as a kid. I never saw that one. I mean, I was also like 6 years old, so maybe I passed on him. But I don't recall ever seeing that one because I would have picked up Coco. He came with Frankie. You'd have to pick that up. But that was me as a kid. I'm all about the Animals. All about the Animals, picking them up. So there it is. The Bobby Heenan, Mr. Perfect Ric Flair set. We saw the Coco Beware, Davey Boy Smith, Jake Roberts set. Series 8, mixed bag. Like I said at the top, not one that really jumped off the shelves huge. Wasn't flying off. This one sat around a while. It wasn't the best received set. But we'll be back next week with Series 9. So a lot of fun stuff to talk about with Series 9. But in the meantime, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Give me your comments. Tell me about a VHS tape that got taped over. I know it's happened to us all. You guys let me know. And then give me your thoughts on these 2 sets and your memories of these 2 sets. And until next week on Classic Superstars Series 9, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.